Welcome back. Now we have just turned off the destructuring objects here, everything we just turned it off. Okay, let's now talk about the spread operator. We can use this spread operator to basically expand an array into all elements. So basically unpacking the all elements into one. So let's just say that here we have an array. So let's say here constant array equals to, here we're setting this to 789. And now we want to create a new array based on this array, but with some new elements at the beginning. So how we do that? Well, with what we already know, we need to loop over this array, or even worse, do it manually. For example, so let me just show here 1, 2, and here I'm just saying array of 0, and here array of 1, and here array of 2. So what we are declaring here is this array of 0 is 7, this array of 1 is 8, this array of 2 is 9. So we'll console that to log console.log bad new array. Yeah, here I forgot to mention, here we have to declare here constant bad new array equals to, we have to set this array. See now, here we got the output. Now we need to get the original elements and then 1, 2 at the beginning of the array, and this is actually a quite common operator that we need to do. And so now we can since ES6 do in a much better way using the spread operator. So with the spread it's going to work like this. So let me just say here constant new array, here we are declaring, here I'm saying 1, 2, and then here dot triple dots, and let's say array. So when we console.log new array, so here we got the same output. So what this spread operator does is basically take all the values out of this array, dot array this one, and then write them individually like this here, and then as if we wrote 7, 8, 9 here manually. All right, if we wrote it without these three dots, then it would have been an array. So this array dot array, right? So let's just check if we haven't given here any three dots. As you can see how it is printing out here 1, 2, 3, and it is showing the array 1 for these numbers 7, 8, 9. It is printing out in the array format. So we use this operator called the spread by using the three dots. So we can also here console like, see, when we console this using this spread operator, we get this value. See, it is coming out of the array and it is individually specified without the commas, like I mentioned here before. So this means that we can use the spread operator whenever we would. Otherwise, it writes the multiple values separated by commas. That's the situation. When we write array literals like we did up here before, so that's the first situation in which it is very useful to expand an array. And then the second situation is when we pass argument into function. For example, let's say we actually wanted to log them individual elements. So this new array, right? So here we declared individual elements. So of course it's gonna look like just one value with the just array, just one big value. If we use this spread operator to expand array, see what happens then. It's logged them individual elements. So this would be as same as writing 1, 2, 7, 9 individually. So let me just write that as well. See, it is same. And also this is same as like we are declaring here console.log 1 2 7 8 9. So this is same as like declaring this one only, right? See, both are same, right? But we won't be using this, so I'm turning this off here. So once again, whenever we need the elements of an array individually, we can use the spread operator. That is very useful when we write an array. And when we need to pass multiple elements into a function like we did here, all right, let's see a bit more useful example. So in this example, we'll create an array with one more food item in the main menu array. So the main menu here is a restaurant dot main menu. So basically we want to create a new menu here. So for that we'll write the code here. So here we'll say constant new menu equals to dot new array. So here we'll say dot restaurant dot main menu, comma, here we are declaring some Italian dish name, gnocchi. So I don't know if I spelled it correct or wrong. So here we'll declare a new menu. So let's have a look at our new menu. Okay, and indeed it has three original elements. Indeed it has a three original elements plus the element we just passed, gnocchi. And keep in mind that we are indeed creating a completely new array. All right, of course not manipulating the restaurant dot main menu array. So we are building a new array from scratch. So you see that here by the square brackets. So this bracket syntax here is simply the way in which we always been using the new array. So here again we are using a new array, but simply based on expanding this array and then adding another element to it. Okay, now you might have noticed the spread operator is actually a bit similar to destructuring, because it also helps us to get the elements out of array. Now the big difference is that the spread operator takes all the elements from the array and it doesn't create a new variable. As a consequence, we only use it in places where we would otherwise write values separated by commas. And next, let's learn about two important use cases of spread operator, which is create shallow copies of arrays and to merge two arrays together. Join two arrays. And also join array, and here we'll say copy array, right? So first let's write the how to copy array. Constant main menu copy, here we are writing, we are setting here to dot restaurant dot main menu. So here what we did here was, let's simply create a copy of the main menu. So the main menu copy, so let's write a new array into the new array. So we put all the elements that are currently in the main menu. So at the dot menu, that's it. So we just created a shallow copy of the array that's a little bit smaller to object dot assign, so used in the previous section, but here the syntax is actually a lot easier to use. Now to join together the arrays, so let me just remove this. So we need to join the two arrays here. So for that, here we are writing constant menu, here I am declaring given restaurant dot starter menu dot restaurant dot main menu. See here the array value is length 7, and so now we end up with an array containing all the food elements that are both in the starter and main menu. Again, because here with the spread operator we took all the elements out of the starter menu and basically wrote them here into this new array, and then the same with the main menu. All right, so I told you that the spread operator works on array, but that's not entirely true. Actually, because the spread operator works on all so-called iterables. So what is an iterable? So well, there are different iterables in JavaScript, and we'll talk about all of them by the end of this course. But for now, just to know that the iterables are like all the array string maps or sets, but not objects. So basically, most of the built-in data structures in JavaScript are now iterables except objects. So let me actually write that for you. All arrays and strings and maps or sets, not objects. Okay, now anyway, since string are also in the, iterables, that means that we can use the spread operator on a string as well. So let me quickly show that to you. So let's just create a string here, Lohit, and then I want to create an array which contains all the individual letters plus some other elements. So let's call variable letters, and then we create a new array and expand the string here as well. Let's do that. So here we'll do that. Here I'm declaring constant string equals to Lohit. Here I'm declaring the constant letters. So all right, indeed here we get this array. So where each letter of the original string is now individual elements. So just like we expanded, so we unpacked an array, and now we did the same thing here with the string. Just keep in mind that we can only use this the spread operator when building an array or when we pass the values into a function. So for example, we also can do this console.log. We also can do manually by giving this low width this way as well. So it is also same. But so I want to show you one more thing, console.log. Here I want to just show you the string. See here we got Lohit, right? So this way we can declare, or manually also we can declare Lohit, L-O-H-I, simply this way as well. Both are same. So we won't be using this way. We'll just turn it off for now. So but now I'll show you how to not do is use this to build a string using it template literals. So here suppose you say console.log and you want to use this way saying string, it won't work. So here it is not going to work. That's because it is not a place that expects multiple values separated by a comma. So you see an unexpected token, all right. So again, multiple values spread by comma are usually on expected when we pass arguments into a function or when we build a new array. So let's note that, because that is important to understand about the spread operator. Okay, but now with the building arrays, let's now actually write our own function that accepts multiple arguments and then use the spread operator to actually pass those arguments. So that's going to be very real life example right here. Let's add here another method now, and let's say that we want a method to order just pasta. Okay, and the pasta always needs to have 3 ingredients. Let's order pasta and it's going to be a function. So now here we need 3 ingredients. So let's turn this off, and here we'll write the function. We'll say order. So in this function we are going to say ingredient 1, ingredient 2, and then here ingredient 3. We'll console.log. Here is your delicious pasta with So this here we're going to use. And then let's now call this function order pasta. And now I want to do here is get these ingredients from a prompt window. So we have already know that. So here I'm going to write constant ingredients. I'm going to set here we want in the prompt, right? So I'm using here the prompt. So and I think I didn't show you this escaping here. So this slash s, right? So here we simply write this single quote here, this all right. So here we write simply this single quote here to write let's write. So JavaScript thinks that we are finishing with a string with let's. If we write here instead of this, if we use the single quote, so JavaScript thinks that it is only just stopping there. So we write this. So we could have used the double quotes out here, or we use yeah, so we can escape using the backslash. Okay, now we can save this. I think the prettier will actually get rid of this. It's still important to know that escaping exists. So basically this makes the single quote here and it does not finish the string at this point. So let's save it. So when we use here apostrophe, see when we save the file, now here the backslash is gone. As you see that now the prettier extension actually replaced the single quotation here with the double quotations as well. And so here we go to see our prompt already. But let's create two more ingredients like this. We're going to declare a prompt of ingredient 2 and then prompt of ingredient 3. And so now console.log this ingredient B and ingredient C. So here ABC login prompt. So here ABC are as an array ingredients with ABC, which are the string that are just wrote these. And now how actually we can call the order pasta function. So let's just write here restaurant dot order pasta. Here we'll say dot dot ingredient. Here I'm going to give the input mushroom and then here asparagus and then last I'm going to give here the cheese. See here, so in this we get twice here now the delicious pasta with the, as you can see here, twice we are getting. So what do you think is the better solution, this one or this one? Especially considering that an array, of course, be a lot longer, just the 3 elements. Indeed, always go with this modern ES6 syntax here. It's amazing, additional to the language now. Just to finish this lecture here, since ES 2018, the spread operator actually also works on objects, even though the objects are not literals. Let's just write that here. Let's now experiment with this. The first example here was to create a new array based on one initial array, right? So let's now also create a new restaurant object with all the data from the original one plus some additional data. So this is actually an amazing way of doing this, because it is also much easier with the older JavaScript. Let's call that one new restaurant, and then we can simply spread the older restaurant, and then this will basically copy all the properties of the restaurant into new object, and then we can add anything that we want. Constant new restaurant. So I'm going to give here the prompt. Founded in 1997. Here also I'm giving the founder name. Here I'm saying the max, so it's just a simple name. Here I'm giving the new restaurant. So here I'm adding the two values here. So wait, let me just turn this prompts off so that we won't get multiple times again and again. See, here we have added founded in 1997 and name, location, here array, see. Here he see founded in, it was inputted into the array, and then here founder also max, it was just inputted into, so we just basically added these to the array. Okay, so indeed we are going to get our original object plus the founder and the founder in. Okay, and finally, since we are able to do the shallow copies of arrays using the spread operator, we can do the same with the objects. So instead of using the objects dot assign, so we did it in the previous lecture. So let's do that restaurant copy. And so all we need to do is an empty object. So in there, expand all the elements of the original object. So the restaurant in this case. So now if we attempt to change something of the copy. So let me just show you. Here a constant restaurant copy equals to, here I'm saying the some Italian name, Restaurante Rome. Okay, and then here we'll restaurant copy dot name. Let me just save that. See, here we are having this value null, right? So it is giving here undefined, and also as you can see here we got a classico Italian. So what we missed here was here we are declaring restaurant name, right? So basically here we should not instead of this here it should be dot dot restaurant, and then after it is declared here we are storing this, right? So now here restaurant copy dot name, here we need to store it here. Okay, now when we save it, now you see in this both the cases we are having two different outputs. So anyway, now we take a look at the both. As of now, the copy and the original, now you see they are different, as the copy has the name of Ristorante Roma, and now the old one has the Classico Italiano, which means that indeed we make a copy of the original restaurant. So we made a copy of the original restaurant, as we learned by the end of the previous session, changing one object put, then also change the other one, right? Cool. Okay, of course we'll use all these in the real projects later down the road, but again I choose to teach you these concepts in a separate way and not inside a big project, because this allows me to show you a lot more different examples. So that's going to be helpful when you try to find what you're looking for after this course. Thank you.